Hey everyone, it's July 15, 2023 at sunrise, and something happened yesterday on July 14th, and I knew I had to make a video on this. It was pretty significant with a powerful message and a heads up. So where do I start? Yesterday I was working and I heard leave now and go take a dip in the water. Okay, now I've told you about my leave nows whenever it's guidance from above, and when I listen, which is always, I really do, I always listen to it because there's always some either amazing meeting, healing, someone needs help, a message, guidance, synchronicity, just, it could be anything, but it's always divinely guided and it's really powerful. And what happened yesterday was off the charts. So when I heard leave now and go take a dip in the water, I listened right away. I put on my suit, went to the water. I knew just where to go. And it was funny because as I was walking across the walkover, there was this huge group of what looked like a self-defense class, and they were, kind of play acting on the beach right by the water. And I thought, oh, that's interesting, all those strong, fit people. If I were in some trouble, they'd help me. It was just this weird, random, I'm a really good swimmer. I've been a swimmer. I swam every day as a kid for years. Like, I love to swim, no problem swimming, but I had that random thought. If I needed help, there's all those fit guys that would come help me, right? So then I didn't know it until later, after this story I'm going to tell you, but about 400 feet down, there were a whole bunch of lifeguards in training. Okay, so isn't that interesting? So anyways, I usually take my boogie board, go in the water, and having a nice time, and just, going with the waves. And then I just suddenly had this image of Christ, like, and might sound odd, but I'm just bear with me. I just had this feeling like to ask Christ to rebaptize me. Like I literally put my head in the water and put my head back and imagine being rebaptized, okay? And this is very significant to the story, so I have to say that first. And then I was out there for quite a while and having a good time. And then all of a sudden there were a couple guys coming toward me and they're like, are you okay? Are you okay? I said, yeah. And I'm like looking behind me. Are they coming for someone else? I said, no, I'm fine. And they said, no, you're actually in a rip current. I said, really? Because I always look for the rip currents. And they said, well, there's a hidden sandbar. If you're right in front of the sandbar, you're fine. But if you're on either side of it, which I was heading toward, I was literally being led toward without realizing, then you can get in some trouble. But I was never pulled under. It was never dangerous at all. But then, oh my gosh, 3 more lifeguards. So there's 5 lifeguards coming out for me. Oh, so embarrassing. But anyways, so, they give you this little life preserver kind of thing you hold on to, and then it's attached to a rope. And so they pull me, in front of the sandbar and then out of the water. And I said, oh my God, I was thanking each of them. Thank you so much. I'm really, really embarrassed. But the good news is I was saved by 5 handsome, strong lifeguards. Young men, and it was fun. And it was funny, but not really, right? It's serious business because I was in a riptide when I didn't even know what riptides were in Kauai on our honeymoon, and I know what it feels like, and it is really quite scary. I was pulled under way into the water, so looked like I hold my breath good. So anyways, but when I said to them that you saved me, it clicked, and I thought of the Christ image, because a lot of you that follow my work read I Can See Clearly Now, so I won't go into a whole lot of detail, But you know that the message of being saved is synchronistic message kept coming through as I was writing the book, but even things that happened before, such as in 2001, 22 plus years ago, when the only time in my life I ran out of gas. It was, of all places, at the Big I, the biggest interchange, the letter I, but significance is, the symbolism is EYE, in New Mexico. And I was at this huge interchange, and I had just literally made it to the shoulder right in front of the Big I, but I was traveling on fumes for a couple miles. It was really quite scary, and I was praying to God the whole time. God, just get me there, you know? And I was totally safe, okay? So what happened was, there's this huge image of Christ on the cross on a truck going by. Just then, when I get saved, okay? Then I hear all these horns. I look in my rear view mirror, and there's a Chihuahua that was running on the same path that I just drove, this little Chihuahua. And I literally got out of the car and saved it. There's so much more to the story and what happens next and what happens for months and years after that. This has been going on all these 22 plus years. Still have the Chihuahua signs, but it was all about saving, right? Saving the scared Chihuahua. And so I was thinking about that, and then I was thinking, you know, with that save thing, and then I was thinking about the Titanic signs that I was having, which were occurring while I was writing. I can see clearly now. I was meant to experience that so that I share the messages that I was getting. And it was basically that even though it seems like we're sinking on the ship like a Titanic, like we're all on the ship and we're sinking, we will be saved. And I had all these synchronicities pointing to that, especially with Molly Brown, who was saved on the Titanic, right? You know the story. So all this was flooding back to me, that this was all mirroring that we'll be safe. So no matter how bad things get, because things are so bad, the more you know how bad it is, we will be okay. We are in spiritual battle and we're being called, but we will be okay. Okay, so then I get home and I'm just thinking about all these things, and then I got back to work on researching something I had been all week. And that has to do with, I'm just going to kind of spill the beans and just stick with me, okay? The movie that we're all so excited about, that they're finally bringing mass awareness to the worst, most heinous evil crime onto children. That movie is not what it seems. Okay? Now, before the 4th, when it opened, I was literally trying to buy a ticket. I know what's going on, and I didn't want to go, but I felt I need to for the children. I need to know what I don't know, right? And to support the film. computer wouldn't let me. I could not get a ticket. And I heard, do not go. And I always trust that. I always trust that. And now I know why. Oh my gosh. Okay. Then I started, and then I was recalling that years ago, I want to say, I don't know, 2-3 years ago, maybe 2 years ago. I'm not sure. But the organization that the main character's tied with to help this cause, I was donating to. I got on a monthly setup where you donate every month. And after a couple months, I'm like, something isn't right. And I stopped donating. It was really bothering me and I couldn't put my finger on it. But something didn't feel right. The cause is very real, of course. It's so real. Tragically so. And this message needs to get out there, but the vehicle and what they're doing and how we're being manipulated, deceived, used for an okay, so yesterday, I'm researching and I'm so confused. This is like so confusing. That's what they're masters at. The darkness is masters at deceit and confusion and manipulation and gaslighting, all of it. And I was so confused. How can this be? But I kept saying more and more evidence something's not right. And then just when I'm at the height of it, God, please, how honestly, like literally, God help me understand. It was like, boom, a slew, like one link led to the slew of information that made it all clear. And I'm like, okay, this is real. This is not what it appears, and we're being had and played again. Let me just like get to at least one of the main goals of this, okay? This is fact. You can find it on your internet, through your internet, while we still have it. Children are already in the being. Who's okay with that? I do not consent. We cannot consent to this. They're doing this for free because they care so much, They're starting this out for free. But see, when they did it to our pets, didn't you know deep down something's funny about this? It's like, this is what they always do. They groom and condition us, slowly condition us to accept. This chipping has been going on for years of pets. And now, so see, they're going to like, you better protect your child, get this in the hand or wherever, the mark, right? No. Oh my God, I was so upset. And I just looked into it a lot, and the bottom line is we have to be aware of the truth no matter how much it hurts. Because once you know the truth, you can stay above it and be proactive. You can, do what you feel guided to do, to act in whatever way you feel you need to act. But you need to connect. We need to connect to God and walk with God through this. It's so deep and dark what is going on. especially with the children, but all of humanity, all of life, the whole earth. And to pray for divine intervention. God is what is going to save us. That is the saving. God is going to save us. But when? When enough of us, I don't know. I mean, this is what I feel. When enough of us say, enough, I do not consent. I do not consent to this. Do not consent to what is being done to our children. With that, and suddenly it's okay to have parading around kids and they're not arrested because they're in it's such a clown world. Everything is upside down. I do not consent to the... And if we did consent, we can tell God we're sorry, we were, we made a mistake, or we were forced, or we were deceived, on and on. But make good with God. To make good with God on this. And all of it, I mean, I live in beautiful Florida now for a couple years, and it was great when it was a free state, but it's not as free as it appeared politically. So I always wondered, they get a lot of people to move here, and then, right, politically, it's not what it appears. And, as you probably heard of the So what, we can't go outside? It's not going to stop me from going outside. I'm going by the 3 Ps. I call it prayer, precaution, and preparation. Preparedness. And, my beloved one just gifted me with a kayak, the first kayak I've ever owned, first boat I owned. And I'm so excited about it. It's literally on its way. And it's like, that's not going to stop me. I will pray, I will be prepared, and I will be proactive and have precautions, So we can't let the joy and peace stop in our lives. We have to, like Michael says, Archangel Michael says, find the pockets of peace. Find the pockets of peace. Find the joy. For 5 years, honestly, every day I have to pick myself off the floor. I have chronic stress and anxiety and sleepless. I hardly slept last night. Every morning I pick myself up and I seek the joy and I seek the peace. No matter what is going on, because that's what they're trying to take away, the darkness. They are targeting us. So we will get through these times. We are in spiritual battle. I have no question God wins, no question. Yesterday was confirmation of my relentless faith, but it was meant to be shared with you. Whoever this gets out to, I'm so sensitive. So please share if you feel this will help someone else. But, I have other ways that I share. But even that, I'm having a really hard time getting messages out. My warrior group, see now, there we go. I'm being censored there. My friends and I have proton mail. We're thinking, oh, that's safe. It won't get messed with there. when I have certain links in there, it won't send. You know, whenever I send over 100, which is my warriors, it will stop me. So I have to be creative, and nothing will stop me. I will, you know, I'm only human, but I'm doing everything I can to keep getting the information out there while we can. And, you know, with the newsletter, I sent a newsletter out recently with Archangel Michael's channeled new message. And it was a beautiful message, and I went to send it again because that's hundreds of people. And, you know, I was really struggling to send it. So I don't think everyone got that. If you didn't and you're watching this, please write me and I'll forward it to you. You can go through my website, marysoliel.com, and just let me know. So, you know, we just all have to do our part to acknowledge, seek and acknowledge truth and walk with God through these times. Always call on Archangel Michael for protection. It's an open invitation, you know, for you and your loved ones. When you go in the car, surrounding your house, when you're in a place where something doesn't feel right, just call on him. We're so blessed, even though things are so difficult during these times. We have so much help. So peace and joy and peace, that like I'm always seeking. And a couple months ago, I had this little, you know, just a small amount of money, like $3 and a penny or something like that, left at a credit at a store. And I had the cash in my hand, okay? So it's like, well, you know, I wonder if there's even anything that cheap. And I couldn't believe my eyes. I see this clearance. I'm just walking around trying to find something. There's this clearance table, and it was this beautiful mug that says peace and joy, or joy and peace. I can't remember. I'm going to show a picture now. And it was a penny less than what I had. A penny. There we go with the pennies. Pennies are still up, by the way. I'm at least 40 days with no food, 40 days with food. So every other day, I'm doing fine. I'm not gonna fear their created, not going into fear of, never been in the fear of turn off the mainstream news and talk to like-minded people, and we'll get through this together. God bless.